Good afternoon. Thank you for joining me. My name is Alan Kaplan. I'm the trombone professor at New Mexico State University, and I'd like to welcome you to my third masterclass. This one is entitled All-State Etudes Practice for the Voxman Gatti A-flat major etude. This is the so-called technical etude. Those of you who are here might have seen my second masterclass, which was on the brochure number 8. The first thing you want to be able to do when you're preparing these etudes or any good kind of music, doesn't matter the genre, is be able to answer these questions. How do I want to sound on my trombone? What do the etudes sound like? What do I need to physically and technically do to be able to play those notes and rhythms? And what do I practice? Throughout these masterclasses, I have a little box entitled Pro Tip. Flexibility is overlooked by young players. All the great trombonists from Dixieland, jazz, brass quintet players, symphony players develop serious flexibility. Without flexibility, you will not be able to play these etudes well. You're probably familiar with etude with flexibility exercises like this one. And notice the second time you play the pattern, you lightly articulate on the same air. Of course, you'll play that all the way down the instrument. And what these types of exercises teach us is how to play those notes with a beautiful sound and how to connect in and out of the various registers. I suggest you seek out more exercises that increase your range. And one place to go is this website where my friend Jimmy Clark at Texas A&M Commerce has put together his own arrangement of the Remington flexibility studies. And they're free. I think you'll enjoy them. And this is an example from Jimmy's workout. So they're fun. As you get better at them, you'll find that you're playing with a nicer sound. It's easier to get in and out of the registers, and you're playing more efficiently. My favorite, especially for playing jazz, is the trill exercise. And then the variation with the triplets. And I need these as well. Most professionals work on these every day, and it will help you get air to your lips and get a beautiful sound and learn how to connect, which is one of the most important things we need to do when we play melodies. So you want to set your musical goals for each piece that you play. So you listen to a professional recording, and you'll see below I've got a recording from Pepe Abe, the principal trombone of the Osaka Symphony. He has a wonderful series on YouTube, and you want to study the recording carefully and often. Eventually sing along with the recording until you can hear the correct pitches and rhythm. Imitate professional phrasing. Pro tip, adjust playback speed to be able to hear the etude very slowly. See playback under settings under YouTube. So tiny little bites. So this is the Voxman, page 14, A-flat major Gatti etude. The first thing you want to do is learn how to listen. Listen to recordings, listen to your own playing. If you can record your playing and listen to it, it'll save you a lot of time. Imitate great tone, articulation, tonguing and slurring, pitch, dynamic, style, and then be able to sing all the notes in tune and then buzz what you hear. Some people have a drone that they play on the piano or on their tonal energy, and they can match the pitch while they're buzzing, and that really helps. Buzz slowly, buzz in tune. I know you've heard this from your band directors. Slow practice really helps you make fast progress. Pro tip, imitation is a great way to learn. It will always be, and it has been, the quickest, best way to learn something. So you want to know what the theory is. What key are you in? Because most etudes are made up of fragments of scales and arpeggios or chords. These are the cliches of music. When you master the sounds of your scales, you begin to master the etudes. So what key or keys are you in? What do you need to practice in that key? The style is tenuto. I like to play longer than a lot of people think. I was very lucky to have played 13 years in the Oklahoma Symphony, and we had to match strings. My students who play in the symphony at New Mexico State have had to learn how to play very long and sustained, and it really changes because you get to sing more on the instrument and you can ring. So words like tenuto, long, ringing, elegant tone. The word next to it is toe, so less tongue and more more sound, more air, more ringing. Practice it slurred, like a lip slur. Then dent the air with the tongue. What you don't want to play is choppy. Very rarely do we play in that style. We're always keeping a steady airstream. It connects, it helps us resonate, gets our lips to vibrate. So that's another secret. You're going to notice that you're going to have less tongue and more airflow, and that way you can relax and let the air do the work. So this is in several keys. It's an A flat major in the beginning. There's a spot right after it that probably goes to the relative minor, F minor. And then we're in D flat. By the way, another pro tip, most young players tongue too hard. A light tongue do. Use it all the time. If the band director or the orchestra director or someone says tongue harder, what they really want you to do is blow harder. Let me give you an example. I'm going to play a very light do, and I'm going to blow harder, and it's going to sound like I'm tonguing harder, but I'm not. I'm just increasing the air. Let the air, the strong airflow do the work. You're going to hear that throughout. When you can relax and let the air do the work. This etude is based on a lot of chords, so you'll notice if I practice this lip slur in A flat, but especially the second one. I'm learning how to play those notes very efficiently, in tune with a good sound, and then I can use those same notes in the etude and feel comfortable. Another pro tip, practice slow scales for ear training. So I've transposed Dave Vining's exercise from his breathing book into A flat major. Notice that you're going to take a breath in time. Got the metronome. So you're going to learn how to relax. Put the air into the horn. So you're going to blow into the horn. the slide in the right position so you can feel that resistance with the slide. And so on. Notice I have the positions in there, and you're going to want to play very carefully on measure 27 with the D flat. So this is a great way for you to get comfortable, to be playing against all that tubing and getting used to the slide. Very good exercise for relaxing. Pro tip, practice all the chords in the key. Train your ear to hear in the entire key center. So I've written this out. These are all the chords within the key of A flat. The first note of every measure is the scale. As you get to know a little bit more about music theory, you'll find out that we build triads above every note in the scale. And by slowly practicing that, you'll start to hear the tuning in a key that we really don't play that much in bands. You will eventually, but right now you want to get comfortable in the keys that the etudes are written in, especially D flat. Don't go faster than you can play them comfortably. If you want to put a fermata on every note and use your tuner, you can also practice them without tongue. That's the next pro tip. And eventually, by doing that, you'll figure out the exact airspeed to get the note, the sweet spot of every note. Every note on a brass instrument has the correct speed of air and the firmness in the embouchure. So I go for airspeed. When I do that, my lips come along for the ride. More or less. So every note has the corresponding fast or slow air, and by practicing that, you've unlocked the key to how to play in the various registers, higher or lower. We talk about airflow. You want to improve your airflow to your lips. It's really about getting air to your lips. You want to practice serious breathing, and I'll show you some exercises that if you've seen my masterclass, they'll be familiar. You want to use a breathing tube daily. The new version of the tube is a milkshake straw. At the end of my handout, you'll see how you can get this from Amazon. And the reason I recommend that, it's about $6, and you can get, they're reusable. They're stronger than the usual straws, and they have brushes to clean them. Every time you use one, make sure it's clean, and you'll notice it really helps. This is an exercise that Ben Van Dyke, the fantastic bass trombonist from Rotterdam, has in his book, Ben's Basics. And this will help you find what it takes to blow the slide, to connect, and to also find your tuning. And I want to thank, again, Scott Hartman for kind of tweaking this and making it an even better exercise. We talked about practicing everything with breath attacks. So notice the beginning of this starts off on a breath attack on F. Let me put my metronome on 60. And you can put it wherever it's comfortable. But what you want to do is take a breath in time, in, out, and have the note ring like you're blowing out a candle. Should be that relaxed. If you like the note, go on with the exercise. And it's just a gliss, but it's a precise gliss, and we're reminding ourselves every time we do it where the slide is, and in the end, we have fun doing like a Dixieland gliss. Let me demonstrate. Breathe when you need to. Usually when you hear young players, they don't connect. They really have not been told that that's okay. We love to gliss. We love to play Dixieland and smears. So you're allowed to do that here, but it's going to teach you how to use the slide. When you can do that comfortably, then you add tongue. And you're going to hear me say that often. Play it with no tongue like it's a slur. Add tongue. The horn plays itself. Then, of course, you do it on B flat. Etc. The low B flat. If you're uncomfortable playing in any of these registers, take your time, find the note, and put the pieces together. Slow practice makes a difference. Let me just review our breathing exercises. Pro tip: to breathe well, move your ribs. A lot of people don't know that. So if you look at the instructions, you're going to be relaxed before you even play, a relaxed posture, and you're going to very simply stand in front of a mirror and raise and lift your rib cage as high as possible. Without lifting your shoulders or leaning backwards. So I'm moving my ribs, and that allows my lungs to expand. The second part, put your hands on your hips, expand your lower back. So we're opening up our ribs. Take a breath, make this sound so we can hear the air coming in, etc., etc. And then you can do it with a tube. The best part about the tube, it focuses the air exactly where it needs to be. It opens your throat, keeps your teeth apart, your tongue out of the way. It fixes a lot of things. Pro tip: world-class brass players use breathing tubes every day. If you like to browse through YouTube clinics, you'll see French horn, you'll see players in the New York Philharmonic, people in Europe, tuba players. We'll talk about doing the Arnold Jacobs style breathing every day. And again, in the back, it tells you where to get those smoothie straws. Here's some exercises we've done before. And notice the word calmly. And when you do these, try not to leave them out. They're important because when you do them, you're realizing how much air you need to take in, because most of us just don't move that much air. I've got a little faster at 80 here. I'm going to count 8 counts in, hold 4, blow out 8, and move my ribs. And exhale. If I can keep my chest high in a normal position, like I've got a Batman suit on, it really helps the air go out. Notice number 2, you're taking in the same quantity of air. You're inhaling 4 counts, 2 counts, and 8. So you get used to taking a relaxed breath in less time, and that really makes a difference. We talked more about flexibility. You want to increase the amount of time you spend on your lip slurs, and they really make a difference. There's a great Frank Rossellino exercise. That's part of it. And if you ever hear Frank, he's all over the instrument. 2 or 3 octave jumps. He's the king of flexibility. So this works on all sides of the horn. And I mentioned get Jimmy Clark's edition of the Remington. The Price is Right. If you can, pick up a blue machine. And I do everything on it. I play songs, I improvise. Arnold Jacobs talks about the concept of strangeness. If you want to make a change, you do it away from the instrument. That's strange. Buzzing is strange. If you're like me, after you've done some buzzing and put the mouthpiece back in the horn almost plays itself. So it's a wonderful way to practice, and it's available to you right now. We mentioned in the last clinic about doing scales, glissing them. That makes a big difference. So again, no tongue. And when you can smooth that out, we're learning how to use the slide and then your tongue on that. This is a new version of the Remington. It says Yale because my friend Scott Hartman, formerly of Empire Brass, teaches at Yale. And this is a wonderful exercise to help you do tuning. I'll kind of give you a quick version of it. If it's new to you, please order the handout. I'll send it to you if you send me your email, obviously at no charge. It's a way of tuning, but it combines a few things. One is a breath attack to find that right airspeed. And then a gliss, and you gliss until you find the pitch. It's a great way to connect and learn physically where those notes are on the slide. If you breath attack, you're more consistent. Every time you play it, you're using exactly the same speed for that F, for the B flat, in measure 15, and so on. And then after you play it, if you notice, you do it on the mouthpiece. So here's an example from number 5. Breath attack. Take your time, hear it in your head. When you buzz, it helps to use vibrato. You may not use that much vibrato on the horn, but it helps you center with the blue machine. If I do it correctly, it's almost easy, and the ball stays up. A lot of us do not like to hear from a conductor or a colleague, don't drop your air. That will teach you how not to drop your air. A couple things at the end. This is a great exercise from Jeff Reynolds, retired LA Philharmonic bass trombone. What you do basically with this is that you take a breath in one beat and you exhale whatever it is, 1 count up to 10 counts. And you begin to realize that airspeed affects dynamics. This is the weakest part of most auditions. People have a mezzo forte loud and a mezzo forte soft dynamic. So this will help you. So let's set this, let's do it at 72, just to be different. Every inhale is going to be relaxed on one beat. In one, out one. So every breath is relaxed. The exhalation, when it's 1 count or 3 counts, I'm using my intercostal, my stomach muscles. Watch. That's a pretty loud note. I'm not using muscles on my face. I'm using air, quantity, and speed. 3 counts. This will make a difference in getting first chair. And of course, 10 counts. Milt Stevens would tell you when you take a breath, inhale a tennis ball, exhale a thread when you play soft. But it's a very intense laser-like thread. Watch, this is 1 and 10. Almost made it. So these are things you want to practice, and you'll begin to realize how important breathing and using your airflow, getting it to your lips, will change your playing. Most of us do not take enough gas to get the car to run. Fill up at the gas station every time you breathe. Here's an exercise from Marcel Tabito, the great oboist. You've probably seen this in marching bands. Sometimes they'll use numbers for crescendos, but this is a great exercise to help you make a difference between notes. And as you do it, you'll realize that the lower numbers will get softer, and all of a sudden, you're going to develop wonderful colors in your playing. I've included the major scales written out in the right range at quarter equals 92. That's your goal. So you don't have to make anything up. Boom, 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 boom. Use your dynamics for your scales. Make them songs. You've been practicing these glists. If you're not sure about the notes, you can breath attack them slowly. Sometimes if our air is late, we miss the note. So this whole idea of breath attack and time and coordination could really change your playing for the better. Notice the chromatic scale is at the end. And that too is at 92. If you want to, you can put a fermata on every note to check it. Practice slowly. Remember, the job of a conductor is to make the ensemble sound good. When you practice, you're the conductor. You want to make yourself sound good, which might mean playing one note instead of 20. It might be playing it half tempo. Find a way to be successful. Use some of the techniques you learn in your band rehearsals. This is an extra bonus exercise. It combines light tongue with lip slurs. You'd be amazed at the variety of lip slurs in Ilya Reingut's book. He does some wonderful things. I think he's been playing maybe at least 40 years or so, and he's bored with the normal lip slurs. So look what he did. Light tongue, lip slur. If you jump down to 17, triplets, light tongue, a lot of air. And when you go to the 16ths, number 31, that's a hard one. So these are good to practice. One thing I have to share with you, find a way to make this fun. I've been doing this a long time. Decades and decades and decades. And I'm having more fun now because I've found things to make it easier, and I'm practicing more often because it's more fun. So I hope you get to do that and enjoy it, but you do have to practice. Try to schedule every day. Give yourself a goal of 15 minutes. Just show up, do something, do one thing really well. And if you're like me, it gets to be so much fun because it gets better, and then you want to practice. Here's how you can get 2 items that will improve your playing. They're both from the Chicago Symphony School of Brass Playing. These are the straws, the smoothie straws, and I recommend these. They're great for you. And at Walmart, you can pick up the Blue Machine. It really makes a difference. If you get one and you're not sure how to use it, send me an email. There's some good videos online to show you how to do it. But this will make a big difference in your playing. Thank you so much for listening. Go Aggies! If you'd like to receive a PDF of this masterclass, please email me at akaplan@nmsu.edu. Let me know what you thought about this. If you learned something, if you did, please share it with your band director and your friends. A lot of these concepts cross over to all the brass instruments. Again, thank you for spending time, and you take care. Best of luck with your audition.